protesters shouting, "I hope they blanking die." I couldn't believe it when I woke up and heard this news. I'm still in a little bit of disbelief. I had to have some proof because I saw the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office issuing the warning to tell the protesters outside the hospital to stay out of the way of the emergency room. You're blocking, you're impeding ambulances, not just for, of course, law enforcement, for anybody who's trying to get into the hospital. And sure enough, the audio proof exists. It really did happen. You can actually hear protesters who converged on the hospital where these two county deputies were taken after they were ambushed in an assassination attempt that was caught on tape. They have surveillance video of this subhuman, this cretin coward monster going up to a patrol car and firing point blank, shooting both of these deputies in the head. Here's what happened at the hospital after the law enforcement officers were taken there to battle their life-threatening injuries.
How you doing there? And I want to deliver the message to the I hope yeah, just like that.
I hope they effing die. Now, normally that would be the story of the week, of the month, of the year. The two innocent cops sitting in a patrol car, ambushed, both shot in the head. And I'm going to warn you, we have the video. If you're watching the show on MikeOnline.com, we live stream our show every day. We make the show available on a variety of platforms. And if you're a new listener to this show, we welcome you. This is the place you need to be throughout the entire election process and season and beyond. And as you listen to us here on this great radio station, you might watch the show and see the video clips at MikeOnline.com. You can click Watch Mike on TV. I warn you, the video of the subhuman trying to assassinate these two county deputies is not for the faint of heart. It is an awful thing to see. But the families want you to see it. Last night, I saw one of the local stations in Los Angeles issued graphic pictures of the bloodied deputies, one of them a young woman, 31 years old. She's been shot in the head. She's trying to administer aid to her partner, who was also shot in the head. She's applying pressure to his wound, and the families, according to Fox 5 in Los Angeles, want you to see this. It's awful, it's disgusting, it's despicable, but they want you to see it because they want you to know what their loved ones have gone through. And Biden's worried about how many people went to the Trump rally in Nevada. You know, one thing that is clear, if there's any bit of normalcy left, the shootings of these deputies and the protesters' response has done a great deal of damage to the Black Lives Matter movement. Because Americans are getting very, very disgusted with the antics of some of the Marxist, radical lunatics who are part of the BLM movement. Nobody disputes that police reform and evaluation and vetting of police officers should absolutely happen. Nobody disputes that. But clearly there's a dispute about whether or not it's a terrible thing that somebody would try to assassinate two county deputies in their patrol car. There's a dispute about that, evidently. I'm sorry, there is no dispute that everyone wants the police to be the best they can be. There's no dispute about focusing on how to police de-escalate, what kind of mental health evaluation do the police have to give people that they're dealing with? What's the better way so that somebody isn't shot in the back or somebody isn't like South Carolina and all the things we've seen that are terrible, terrible things. George Floyd's death, a terrible thing. What's the better way to do it? We're all in agreement. Have the dialogue. Let's have that conversation. But we should also not have any dispute about the evil, not only of the sheriff's deputies or the county deputies being shot, but the protests outside the hospital afterwards. No one should be in dispute about that. If there's a dispute about that, well, Houston, we got a problem. Our number is 1-800-655-MIKE. I hope you join us here on a Monday, September 14th episode of the Mike Gallagher Show. 800-655-6453, because I want your voice front and center. I do things a little bit differently than my colleagues. I don't want another author. I don't want I don't want the same talking heads that make all the rounds. I want your voice. I want your perspective. You and me trying to work through these difficult, complicated times together. I like to say, Book of Timothy, fighting the good fight. And that's what we try to do. That's what we aim to do every day here on the Mike Gallagher Show. Team Gallagher is here for you. Our number one open line, 800-655-MIKE. Press 1 to come on air with us. Press 2 if you'd like to just leave a voicemail message. You can always text us your comments to the MyPillow text line, which is also 800-655-6453. Whatever you do, join us.